One is constantly asked, what is the state of non-duality? I mean, what does it feel like to be non-dual? Or is it the same as being dual? Well, of course, before we look at this, we have to remember that dual and non-dual are terms of experiential life as consciousness. In any teaching, you have to remember that the teacher and the listener, the teacher and the learner, are exactly the same, just experiencing things differently. There's no superior being. Christ, Buddha are not superior beings. It's the experience of being that we measure against our own state in comparison to what is being spoken and what is being said. Have you seen another human being flying through the air with a 12-foot penis, with a head with 7 heads, with fire coming from its belly? No human form, regardless of what it says, what it speaks, what it knows, and what it expresses through vocal or pictorial or sensory methods or practices or ways, is superior. You see, enlightenment and awakening is just an experience that brings you back to the most simplest, basic way of life. Before we activate our mind, let's look at what is around us. In the satsang hall, there are 100 people, 100 bodies, and the guru sits in the middle. Is the guru any different, regardless of what it says, what it knows, or what it speaks? Physically, before mentally, before psychology comes in, what is so special about the guru? The guru had an experience that is completely different from your experiences. Or he said so. Or he proves it through narrative, through stories, through ways of creating an essence in the room. Christ healed people. Is it true? Is it true? A surgeon comes into the operating room and slices your chest open, chainsaws your rib cage, opens you up and gives you bypass arteries to keep you alive. Is he superior? Once you are stitched up, you feel the surgeon is superior. After recovery, you walk out in the street. You feel suicidal for some reason. You're depressed. You feel as if you want to kill yourself for whatever reason. The surgeon has given you a life. And he's superior. Yet something inside you says, I don't want to live here anymore. And you walk down the street intending to go into the harbour and jump in. And a tramp, a homeless person, passes you by and asks you for money or food. And you say, well, at this time, do you know how I'm feeling? And the tramp looks at you and says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to confront you. I'm sorry for I'm sorry for asking. I'm sorry for getting in your way. Please, walk on by. And something inside says, how nice, how compassionate, how kind. All he wanted was food. And for some reason, you feel so touched by how the tramp speaks to you, treats you. And you walk back to the tramp and you give him some money. And you say, go get yourself a meal. And the tramp falls to his knees and gives you so much praise. And you think, no problem. For a minute you feel superior. You don't walk to the harbour anymore. The tramp saved your life. The surgeon saved your life. The tramp saved your life. The experience saved your life. We can speak about non-duality and duality and consciousness and holograms and quantum physics and Buddha and Christ and religion and spirituality and science until we come home, until the cows come home. But it's all about the experience. The experience this body and this mind is having for the last 9 years is phenomenal. Sat Chit Ananda bliss. So what? So what to you? Are you really cared? Are you looking at me as if I'm special? Well, you look at the amount of subscribers and I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with so little people. Because it's not about superiority. It's about the recognition that this human race is the same. We are equal when we start off. Even though we are different in body, in different hair colours, different clothes, different skins, different everything, we know we're equal. Even though we have yachts and mansions and have millions of dollars and pounds and yen in the bank, even though we are on a throne with a crown, take the crown off, take the throne away, we are the same. And we find ourselves, a speaker included, speaking about consciousness and non-duality and duality and awakening and enlightenment and experiences and wisdom. But it's not for anyone else's ears. Your experience is not for anyone else's ears, even though we love to share. Why do we share? Because we love each other immensely. We love the opportunity to embrace our stories, our hugs, our kisses, our languages, our culture, our lands. Yet we are in the most miserable time to the mind. Because the ego is the problem. The ego is divisive. The ego segments. The ego measures. The ego analyzes. The ego judges. In this dissolution of the ego, everything is going to slowly emerge into the sameness, into the simplicity. You see, when you say simplicity and basic, you think primitive. You think back to that ways of communities and beautiful worshipping the planet, worshipping the universe, the stars worshipping in each other. And that's basically what's going to happen. No one's going to take your Ferraris from you, your yachts from you, your homes from you, your nice clothes from you. No one's going to take that from you. Because the clothes is just a mask. The Ferrari is a mask. The mansion's a mask. The painting that you did, it's in the Tate Gallery, is a mask. The symphony that you have been part of is a mask. The surgeon that chops you open through his scientific or biological certificate is a mask. The tramp in its torn, poor, smelly clothes is a mask. What Buddha and Christ say is we're all the same children of a God. That for some is a mask, for some is salvation, and for some, I wish I could find it. Well, don't look any further than yourself, and don't look further than any other human being, and don't look further than any planet and any animal and any tree, because within all of these things is God. His name is I. The feminine side of God is I am. And when you recognize yourself as equal to everyone and that everyone is the same, you can say, I am that. I am. And then you arrived home. You have arrived at truth. Because that moment of recognition, God itself makes that appearance. It only happens once in your life. But it never leaves you. And it never leaves anyone else. It's just that you can see it and they can't. All is God. Namaste.